Hi guys, my name is Doug. Welcome to Third Stall Garage. Today's episode is a little bit different. Typically the channel has been about shop updates and improvements or the restoration of a 66 Mustang convertible of mine named Vin. Today's episode is going to be an adventure. Third Stall Garage is hitting the road and we are heading over to a friend's house to see what adventures await. So right now I'm on my way to work to borrow a truck and a trailer, and we're heading off on an adventure to see what we can find and to see what's coming next on the Third Stall Garage channel. If you like stories like this and shop improvements and things like that, I would love it if you would hit subscribe and hit the bell notification. Tell your grandma and your postman and the next door neighbor to hit subscribe as well. Just to give you a little clue, the next project probably doesn't have to do with Ford Mustangs as much as Volkswagen. So stick around and see what's next. Many of you know that I work at Camp Roger. I wear Camp Roger shirts all the time, and welcome to my camp world. I picked up an old camp trailer. You can see it in the mirror. We're going to be using it today. It is loud and raucous and rusty, but it works, and I've got access to it. So welcome to my little slice of heaven in Rockford, Michigan. It's a beautiful place filled with beautiful people. Enjoy a little slice of God's heaven. Alright, we are almost there. It's a gorgeous day in West Michigan. It's like 80 degrees and sunny and low humidity, and good day for an adventure. I think this is it. That is not the Beetle that we're talking about, but we're getting closer. Think it's in there. Hi guys, this is my friend Dale. Dale's the one dragging me along on this adventure, kicking and screaming. Dale, we are about to see the Beetle that we're here to pick up today, and I didn't give you a chance to say hi. You can say hi.
Hello everyone.
There you go. Let's take a look at this Beetle that we're here for. Dale, this is a little different than what I thought the car you were restoring was going to look like. Tell me a little bit about what you know about this.
Well, actually, this isn't the car we're going to try and restore. This is a car we can use for parts or measurements. The car we're going to restore is actually inside the garage next to it.
That is really good news, because this is more of a project than I was hoping to take up. All right, let's see what's in the garage. So Dale, how long have you owned Hendrick?
I bought the car in 2013, but I made a bad choice for the area we live in. I bought it deep in the fall, and by the time I got a license plate and insurance on it, the snow was falling. So I bought this awesome convertible, and I literally never drove it until 6 months later, when the snow had thawed and I could drive it in the summer. So I bought it in 2013, but driving it since 2014. A lot of people like to beat up on the previous owner. The previous owner of this car did a great job of making a daily driver that they didn't sink a ton of money into. And then they were ready to move on, and they sold it to me. And I've been using it for the past, 8 years, and improving it little by little. But it's to the point where really, if I want to take it up a notch, it needs body work, and body work then is going to need paint, and it really could turn into a really nice car, and I want to do that for this car.
All right, let's do a real quick walk around. We'll do this more in depth later. What we're thinking is the paint in the car is not in bad condition. It's not perfect by any means. There are some scratches in a variety of spots and a few dings, but overall seems pretty solid. But structurally, there are a few more significant problems we'll talk about in a sec. Dale has a brand new interior for it, which we can talk more about sometime. New carpet kit coming, and a variety of things that are exciting and new about the interior. Some of the main challenges have to do with the front clip and the rear clip. The car seems to have been in an accident, both front and rear, at some point in time. If we shut the trunk lid, you notice that you've got a nice gap here, which gradually widens to the point where you can get a whole hand in there. And the gap here is way too wide, which makes sense when you look down at how proud the front bumper is, the front fender is compared to the front clip. And that is also affirmed by the fit of the front clip behind the spare tire and the fit of the gas tank and the bumper brackets. Yeah, and the spare tire doesn't come out because it's not quite right there. And so what we're thinking is that the front clip was replaced at some point in time, maybe even right about here. And that needs to be corrected. So we're gonna do a complete teardown on it. That's where we want the Merriman Beetle to take some measurements against, and we will fix whatever needs to be fixed and put it back together. And then some similar situations, a little bit of fit and finish. The door rides a touch low here, and the bottom of the door sits a touch proud down here, so the door needs to kind of bend in a little bit. Be adjusted. And then similar things with a rear clip that need to be adjusted with a rear clip, and I don't know the details about those as much, but we are gonna tear it down to the body, pull the engine out, pull the fenders off, and then see what needs to be done and see what needs to be fixed to do it right. Look like you were gonna say something about the top.
I was gonna say something about the top. Just the top has kind of always been a thing. I'm not sure, again, having a professional put it on might change this, but it also just, anytime you shut the top, it's a finagle job to get it to attach in the top. So I kind of wonder what we're gonna find when we start tearing into it. I don't know many people who talk about a restoration and say that things were better than they thought they would be. But I've seen the kind of work, Doug, that you've done on that Mustang, and I'm encouraged. I think it'll be better than the Mustang started out.
We can, the biggest thing we need is a willingness to try. All right, on to the Merriman Beetle. We need to throw some tires on that puppy and get it up on a trailer and get her home to the third style garage. We're gonna get to work. right, Dale, so what draws you to Volkswagen Beetles?
Oh, you know what gets anybody about any car? I mean, it really doesn't make sense. My sister, when I told her that I have a sister who's 18 years older than I am, and she has no nostalgia for the Volkswagen Beetle. She told me this is the car that people who had no money bought. I have a brother who's 11 years older than I am, and he owned a Beetle, and when I was a little kid, I remember loving that car, and he owned it because he had no money, and that car only gave him trouble. And when I bought my 72 Willie, and I excitedly told him I bought a Beetle, he told me I had made a mistake, and he basically, you know, he said, I'll help you with it, but I never loved my Beetle. But I've just always kind of been enamored with them. They're cute little cars. I've always heard they're cheap to maintain, restore, and you know, Doug and I, we've talked, and you know, for every one of his Mustang parts, I could buy 3 of my Volkswagen parts. So in the end, Doug's car will probably be worth more, but he'll probably have to put more money into it than I will. So, you know, I've just always, the shape, the little chirpy, perky, you know, pea shooters in the back. When I was growing up, I remember a lot of people loved Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Porsches, and I'd just look at them and tell them, you know what, I'm going to own my dream car, and you're never going to own your car. And I do. This is my dream car. The color, the whole bit. It's my dream car, and it's kind of been that way since I was a little kid. And my brother had that 63. He had a 63 that was nothing but trouble, according to him. But I just remember being a really fun car. It had shag carpet. It wasn't convertible. It had shag carpet
On the ceiling?
On the ceiling. It was that time. You know, it was a leftover. This would have been in the 70s, and so in the 70s, you know, Volkswagen Beetles were still quite common on the road, but they were just old cars. You know, nobody was fixing them up or anything like that. But today they're totally a legit classic car. Yeah, that gets lots of attention, and even people, you know, just the other day I was driving this car, and there was a kid, you know, I don't know, he was maybe 4 or 5 years old, and I could tell he was telling his mom about this car. You know, oh, look at that car, Mom. He has no memory. You know, no, all kinds of people today, they have no actual memory of Volkswagen Beetles filling the streets, but they just love the unique shape. No car has lasted, you know, when you consider the new Beetle as well, they literally had basically the same shape for a car for 90 years. I don't think anybody's ever going to be able to say that. Yes, Mustang came out in 64, and technically they're still making Mustangs, but Mustangs went through so many different iterations and totally different cars.
You get the Fox body in there, and
yep,
that is true.
You know, what are they on, like C22 now?
Yeah.
You know, the Volkswagen Beetle, if it's a 49 or it's a 79 or it's a 99, you look at it and you say that's a Volkswagen Beetle. Can't do that with any other car.
Dale, why is there a big glare off the top of your and my head? You don't need to answer that. I think you're right, though, about why some people first bought Beetles, because my first car ever was a 1972 yellow Beetle, and I bought it for 750 bucks, drove it for, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years. I think I sold it for $1,000, and it worked most of the time. There were times when I had to push start it myself, but
which is something you can't do with every car. I have push started this car. It was a sad day, but I did push start this car, and you know, how many other cars can you push start on your own?
That is true. That is true. I think our family has owned, I'd have to count exactly, probably 6 or 7 Beetles between me and my 2 brothers. So my brother Ron has one now. I'm sure at some point we'll see it, take it out for a drive. It's a 79 convertible. It's parked at our house right now. So yeah, they're great cars, the people's car. Good, thanks for filling us in. It's a beautiful day for a ride.